زكاتك تدفع عنك البلاء وتحفظ مالك أن أقام.
الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفاه. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to part 13 of the short series on contemporary laws related to zakat. Today we are going to be looking at a detailed worked example for the calculation of zakat. So in order to fully appreciate this video, it's important that you've gone through the previous videos to understand the various principles, because we will be applying them and relating to them as we go along in this detailed worked example. So let's look at the scenario. We're talking about Amr, and Amr possesses the nisab. Let's assume that the nisab is 9,000 rands on the 1st of Ramadan. He has the following assets and liabilities: 30,000 rand in hard cash stored under his mattress, 25,000 rand in his bank account, and $1,200 in his global foreign exchange account. So that's foreign currency. He has one Kruger coin, two gold bangles, and he's weighed them at the jeweler, and they have 20 grams worth of gold. He has loaned his friend 25,000 rand, which will be repaid in 6 months, and he has a rental deposit of 10,000 rand. Amar has purchased his first home, and he's owing 2 million rand to his father. So he took a loan from his father, and this is going to be paid in monthly installments of 15,000 rand per month. He's also a member of a retirement fund as part of his employment. It's a compulsory fund with contributions deducted at source, and the value on the 1st of Ramadan is 300,000 rands. Amar's mother recently passed away, and his share of the inheritance will be paid in the next month at a value of 250,000 rands. So the distribution has been worked out, but the estate still owes him 250,000 rands. Amar also sells phones as a side hustle. On the 1st of Ramadan, he has 10 iPhones in stock, which cost him 15,000 rand each. That's the cost price. If he has to sell this on the market, the retail value is 25,000 rands. And if he had to do a bulk sale of all 10 phones at one shot, it would be 20,000 rands, or 200,000 rands for all 10, 20,000 rand each. So these are the three values that he has for the phones that are in his possession. So let's start. When we're doing our zakat calculation, if you're not using an online zakat calculator, or if you don't have a pre-populated spreadsheet and you want to work out your zakat, you start with all of these assets, list your liabilities that would have zakat implications, and let's start working through them. So let's start with the cash. First one, very straightforward, 30,000 rand of cash. All of it is zakatable. 25,000 rand in the bank account. All of it is zakatable. The $1,200 of foreign exchange, it is zakatable. You can pay it in dollars. So if you want to work out 2.5% on dollars and discharge it in dollars, you could do that. But if you are paying your zakat in South Africa in rands, and you want to calculate your liability in rands, which most people generally do, then we will translate the $1,200 at the spot rate on the zakat date. So his zakat date is the 1st of Ramadan. He would go and check what is the dollar rand exchange rate on that date, assuming it's 18 rand 42 to the dollar. We translate that at 22,104 rands. So we calculate a total of 77,104 rands in cash. Then we look at the gold in his possession. The Kruger coin, we know from our previous lessons that the Kruger coin is at the market value. So assume that the market value is 36,200 rands. The gold, he would need to calculate the value of the gold. How would he do that? He would multiply the 20 grams of gold by the dollar price of gold per gram on the 1st of Ramadan, assuming that's 58 rand 74. And he would then translate that into rands at 18 rand 42 per dollar, which gives him a gold value of 21,640 rands and a total jewelry or gold value of 57,840 rands. Now, he's loaned his friend 25,000 rands, and he's also got a rental deposit of 10,000 rands. So he's got these debtors or these receivables. How do we treat the receivables? The loan that he's given his friend a loan in cash. So he has to pay zakat on this annually. If you go back to our session on zakat on debtors, you'll see the different categories of debtors, and this falls in the category where zakat is due annually. There's no reason for him to believe that his friend is not going to be able to pay this debt or a portion of this debt, so the full amount is zakatable. And he has this rental deposit, which is in his ownership, and he would need to pay zakat on this on an annual basis. If he has to keep this there for a period of time, he does have the option of only paying out the zakat when he gets the deposit back. However, it's obviously going to be easier and better and more cautious to pay out the zakat amount on an annual basis. So all of this is zakatable. His total debtors is 35,000 rands. Now, he's purchased his first house. We know that a house is not zakatable, so he doesn't have to pay zakat on the house. However, as we mentioned when looking at liabilities, when it comes to personal zakat calculation, some ulama allow 1 year's worth of installments for liabilities, even if they relate to non-zakatable assets. So in this case, although he's owing 2 million rand to his father, the 1 year's worth of installments is going to be 15,000 rand times 12. So this would be deductible. 180,000 rand can be deductible from his zakatable assets. Now, he's got cell phones that he sells as a side hustle, and these cell phones would now be inventory or trading stock. As a result of that, he would have to value them for zakat purposes. We know that it cost him 15,000 rand each, but we also know that looking at our session on zakat on inventory, he can either value them at the retail value of 25,000 rand, or he could do it at a bulk sale price, which would be slightly lower than the retail value. In this case, it's 200,000 rands. He cannot value it at cost. The 15,000 rand cost is not correct for zakat valuation purposes. So here he's got the 10 phones at 20,000 rands. We're going to value it at 200,000 rands. What would be excluded in terms of assets? He's got a debt that is due from his inheritance from his mother's estate. Remember, when we looked at the different categories of debtors, any debt that is due from the mahar, from inheritance, will not be zakatable. And he's also part of a compulsory retirement fund. Because it's compulsory, it's deducted at source, the amount is not zakatable. So none of that would be included. So if we put all of this together, put it onto a spreadsheet, he has cash of 77,000, gold of 57,000, debtors of 35,000, and inventory of 200,000, which gives him total zakatable assets of 369,000. We're allowing him to deduct liabilities of 180,000, which means that his net zakatable assets after deducting the liabilities would be 189,944 rands. Multiply that by 2.5%, and his zakat liability for the year is 1,048 rands. How he would calculate his zakat.
لذلك قال الرسول الكريم فلذ بالنداء تفز بالمرام.